Yeah. Hello, welcome to Kranich Solar. Welcome to our webinar. Right next to me is Mr. Rabia from ABB. He will present today some very important information about the ABB microgrid solutions. And my name is Magnus Lerida. I'm from Kranich Solar, Germany, and I will leave the camera to go to the moderation desk, and you may ask your questions on chat, and I will right away answer it on chat, or I will ask the question to Mr. Rabia afterwards, after the webinar. So have a nice time, good information, and Mr. Rabia, you have the word. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. During this webinar, we will introduce you our ABB microgrid solution addressed to villages and remote small and medium industries. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Zohair Rabia. I'm the Global Product Manager at ABB in charge of microgrid applications. I'm based in Italy, in Florence, the factory which is specialized in manufacturing solar inverters. During this presentation, we will start introducing you in step 1, the ABB EPSO structure. Then in step 2, we will also introduce you what is the microgrid segment. In step number 3, we will also share with you some information regarding our new solution called MGS100, Microgrid Solution 100, a technical overview about it. Then in step number 4, we will share with you some marketing and sales insights. And finally, in step number 5, we will share with you also some business cases and references related to the MGS100. Let's start with step number 1, ABB EPSO structure. As you know, ABB is divided in 4 businesses. We have robotic and discrete motion, we have electrification, we have industrial automation and motion. If we focus on electrification business, it is divided in 4 business lines. We have smart power, and inside smart power, we have again 7 product groups, and solar is inside in this part. Let's now dig inside EPSO and try to understand how it is organized inside. This is EPSO, electrification product, solar. We are specialized in the conversion from DC to AC solar inverters. We cover different segments. For example, the residential segment, starting from 1 kilowatt up to 10 kilowatt. Then we have also the commercial and industrial segment, starting from 10 kilowatt up to 5 megawatt. And we have the utility segment above 5 megawatt. And also we have this microgrid new segment, starting from few kilowatt up to megawatt, specially addressed to rural electrification, primarily in emerging markets. Our portfolio is really wide. We have products from 1 kilowatt up to 4.6 megawatt. We have 4 facilities all over the world. We're manufacturing solar inverters, and we already in 2018 launched more than 6 products and 6 platforms. We already shipped around 30 gigawatt all over the world, as you can see in the red part. So from North America to Africa to Europe to Asia and to Latin America. It is split between 48% string inverters and 52% central inverters. We operate in more than 100 countries, and we have 30 solar specialists already based and active in more than 30 countries. As ABB, we are one of the rare companies that can provide you a one-stop shop. If we exclude the panels, as ABB, we can provide you all the DC part, the inverter part, that can be central inverters or string inverters, then all the part related also to the AC part, for example, what you can see here, like transformers, and we have all the switches, etc. And we have also the final part related to the metering and grid connection. Okay, let's move now to step number 2. And we will try to understand now what is the microgrid, and we will try to introduce it to you. Very good. Now, here we can see in this part the off-grid total market, which represent only the 1.4% from the 100 gigawatt, the total on-grid market, the red part that you can see here. If we go and divide it and split it, you will see that is divided in different type of applications. You have the Pico PV with 45% market share. We have then the DC solar home systems, 5%. Then you have AC solar home systems, another 5% market share. Then we have the mini grid with 25%. And this is the right segment where we have the right product. Then we have the larger scale, which take 20%. This trend, this kind of market is growing, even if it looks small, it is growing and growing a lot. So if we move to the part here, you will see that in 2019, 266 millions have been forecasted from McKinsey. Then it will move to 470 millions, then to 670, up to 875 millions, and it will continue to grow. The mini grid part, which represents the 25%, will grow in parallel from 66 million to next year 117 millions, then 167 millions, up to 218 millions. And it will continue to grow and more. And the next question will be where we can propose this kind of solution. So there are many regions where there is a huge potential for microgrid applications, especially in Southeast Asia, including Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, or India, for example. You have also sub-Saharan African regions from Eastern Africa, like Tanzania. You have Kenya, you have South Africa, you have Central Africa, and also Western Africa, especially Nigeria. Then you have also Latin America, starting from Mexico and reaching Brazil and Argentina and Colombia. Let's try to understand what is the microgrid. According to ABB, microgrid is a distributed sources that can be the grid, that can be the diesel genset, the wind, that can be batteries or PV and solar. And in other part, you have also the loads that can be villages, that can be small and medium industries, all that can operate in a control and a coordinated way through this microgrid system in both off-grid applications or on-grid applications. So the main functions of the microgrid system is to control power sources and loads, to control the power export, to control also the capability to correct source side variations, and also the capability to operate with 100% load imbalance. Finally, the capability also to scale up the system capacity. In short, with microgrid, it is possible to deliver seamless, scalable, predictable, controllable, reliable quality power. Topologies. In this slide, we will see how microgrid is divided in three main topologies. We have the nanogrid part, which is addressed to very small homes above 5 kilowatt. Then you have the microgrid for buildings, small villages, with the distribution network, and typically the size is between 10 kilowatt up to 300 kilowatt. Then we have the mini grid part, and it is more complex for big villages, towns, industry level. And usually the size is above 300 kilowatt. Microgrid opportunity. In this slide, we will try to understand what are the drivers that helped to the creation of this microgrid opportunity. There are many drivers that we can categorize them into social drivers. For example, getting access to electricity, improving education, respond to the energy demand, and you have also economic drivers like the low PV cost, the grid parity, and fuel and cost saving. Then you have also environmental drivers like the reduction of CO2 emission, how to get clean energy, and improve quality life. Also, we have operational drivers like in decreasing the fuel independence to avoid the high cost of grid extension, and also how to reach this uninterrupted power supply. All these drivers help to the creation of this microgrid opportunity. Inside microgrid, you have different segments that can be buildings, that can be villages and tourism sectors, can be telecom towers, can be agriculture sector, can be schools, can be hospitals. The application can be on-grid, weak grid, or off-grid. The type, usually it includes diesel gensets, you have storage, you have grid, and you have solar. The size between 10 kilowatt up to 10 megawatt. ABB turned this opportunity into reality, launching this MGS100, Microgrid Solution 100, that we will discover in the next slide. This is the product, and we will show you more in step number 3. In step number 3, we will go and understand what is this MGS100 and let's have a technical overview about it. ABB offering. This is important. As ABB, before the launch of this MGS100, we used to provide only the inverter, which means that the system integrator will take our ABB on-grid inverter, incorporate it inside a pure off-grid system, like you can see here. You have the bidirectional off-grid inverter, you have also the charge controller, you have the battery, you have all the breakers, the relay, and the panels. This was the only way for us to integrate these off-grid applications. Then, after the launch of the MGS100, we are now able to provide to our customers and partners an all-in-one solution composed with ABB proven components that you can see here. So all the complexity that you saw before, that I can show you also in this slide. If you take this slide, you will see that ABB inverter is combined with single-phase bidirectional single-phase off-grid inverters. Then you have the breakers, the AC, DC protection, you have the batteries all together in this a very high and very complex way. Now we have a better way to work and to provide you this full all-in-one solution. In a few words, this solution provides multiple operating mode. It is an integrated solution. It can work 24 hours, providing reliable electricity access, a quick and safe installation, easy scalable solution, monitor anytime, anywhere. Let's dig more inside and try to elaborate what I have just said. Multiple operating mode. which means that it can work in off-grid and on-grid, night mode and recovery modes. It has already incorporated and embedded a PLC controller, and it is simple to adjust some new settings through the HMI. Quick and safe installation, because this solution has been already pre-wired and pre-tested in the factory and ready to be installed in the field. It includes all input and output protections, so you don't need to add anything. Then it is an integrated solution because it is all in one. It is a true three-phase solution constructed with ABB proven components. 24 hours reliable electricity access thanks to the seamless transition. So it can move from one source to the other. That can be the diesel genset, the solar, that can be the grid or the battery without any interruption or blackout. It operates also with 100% phase-to-phase imbalance continuously. And thanks to the embedded monitoring, you can monitor your site from remote at any time, anywhere. Finally, it is an easy and scalable solution. Even if we start from 20 kilowatt up to 100 kilowatt, we can customize it according to the need of the customer. Here are our models. So these are the standard models. We have the MGS100 20 kilowatt, the first one that you can see. Then we have MGS100 40 kilowatt, and it includes also an inverter of 27.6. We decided to put the inverter in the outside and not inside the cabinet to avoid the high dissipation of the temperature inside, because there are other components already included and incorporated inside. Then we moved to the 60 kilowatt using another type of inverter, Trio 50 kilowatt. Then we have higher sizes like this one, 80 kilowatt. Then we have 100 kilowatt and 120 kilowatt. Let's have a look on this MGS100 from the outside. From the outside, this is what you will see. This is small sizes, 20 and 40 kilowatt. You have the HMI here, and you have the inverters, as you can see on the right side. If we try to zoom on the HMI, this is what we will see. We see three columns. The first one related to the grid and to the solar. Then you have another column here, the diagram, where you can see also your unit, the MGS100, how it is connected with the other sources that can be the solar, can be the diesel genset, the load, and the grid. And you have also the data that you can coming from the solar, from the load, from the grid import, from the diesel genset import, and grid export. Third column is related to the battery. So you can see also this charging status of the battery. You can see the current, temperature, and voltage. Let's move now to the inside of the MGS100. So you have a power module from the inside with two racks, one of 40 kilowatt each. And you have in the other part, this is the rack of the UPS embedded inside. Then in this part, you have also meters, DC-AC protections. And in the third part that you see here, it is inside the cabinet. When you will open it, you will find the PLC, you will find all the power supply and monitoring system. Just wrap up. Here we showed you that our solution includes many different components inside, starting from the energy meters, the PLC, you have then the power module, each one 40 kVA, and you have the solar inverter, the one in the blue, all integrated in this MGS100. The batteries are external, so you can use two types of technologies, lithium ion or lead acid. And also you have the monitoring connected from remote or locally, and you have the HMI, and through the cloud cloud platform. Let's move to another step now and try to understand why choosing the MGS100. We choose the MGS100 for a lot of benefits. We can start from an integrated system. It's a plug and play. It will save you time and money because you just need to plug it and that's it. It's an embedded protections, modular and scalable. It includes already a remote monitoring, multiple power sources, can work with different type of sources, off-grid and on-grid functionality, made for extreme environments and cost effective. Let's try to understand slide by slide what these benefits means. First one, MGS100 is an integrated solution. So with this solution, it's a plug and play, as I said, it's all in one here, and it works with different type of sources. You have the solar, you can have the diesel genset or biomass generators or the grid. You have also the battery. You can use lithium ion or lead acid, and you have also different type of loads that can be the buildings, that can be residential or industrial. Here, this is the operating mode of the MGS100. It can work in on-grid, like you can see here. We will use solar during the day. We will feed the load and charge the battery. During the night, when there is no more solar, there is the possibility from the grid to charge the batteries. And also, there is also the option to export power. In off-grid application, we will use solar. During the day, we will feed the load and charge the battery. At a certain time, when the batteries will be discharged, there is the option to integrate also the diesel genset. Let's see it better in the next slide. Here, the blue line showed here the load. Then the solar will start. The excess of energy will be stored inside the batteries, and at a certain time, when the battery will be discharged, here we will add the diesel genset. In this case, you will have reliable electricity access all the time, 24 hours. It is a plug and play solution. So all necessary protections are already embedded inside. You don't need to do anything except of connecting your cables from your sources. That can be the grid, can be the diesel genset, can be the battery, can be the solar or the loads. Here, another option, how to make it scalable. Our solution, as I said before, can start from 20 up to 100 kilowatt, but can also be scalable, which means that we can connect in parallel other rack of UPS or power module in this part, or also inverters in parallel. To give you a better example, this is in this slide a clear example. With our MGS100, we don't need to connect in parallel different units, but according to the maximum load here and the maximum output PV power, we can combine a customized solution. If you go to the example in the right side, here we have this load of, for example, 152 kilowatt. We will extend our power modules to 160 kilowatt. Then we will put 3 inverters. If the PV is something like 300 kilowatt, we will put 3 of PVS100 here and connected with the battery, connected with the load. We have already a solution, one solution instead of 3 or 4. Okay. Another important point is the quality power. Loads will not be interrupted due to side variations to the MGS100, and thanks to the UPS and power module embedded inside. This is really a good and salient features inside our solution that make it really special and unique. Then we have the monitoring part. You have this RMA, remote monitoring adapter, already embedded inside. You have the HMI, you have the local monitoring, or from remote, or thanks to the cloud platform, you can have access to the portal and go inside and check your site from remote. Let's move now to step number 4, marketing and sales. If you go and click on our website here, you will find a lot of information like the data sheet, the brochure, infographic, videos. So we'll know a lot of things about our MGS100. If you need to know more, we can provide you other informations like manual, the component overview, the product overview. If you are using a specific type of lithium-ion batteries, we can provide you our specifications to check if they are aligned and compliant with our MGS100. Furthermore, we can provide you different type of document in different languages, from English to Italian to French and Spanish. As a tools, we use Homer tool. So if you go and click on this link, a window will appear from Homer where you can find the MGS100 inside our library. Using this MGS100 in 5 minutes in front of your customer, you will be able to provide a technical indication and financial indication about the system that your customer need or want. Other tools that we use internally, like the one that you see in the left side, this is for the configuration of the batteries, and we have another kind of tool for the financial part if we have informations like the load profile and other details. This is the process. So when you'll be in front of an opportunity of microgrid as ABB, for the MGS100, we designed a process. First step is to share with you a checklist. You will collect the information and return it to us. In step number 2, we will make our go, no-go assessment. In step number 3, we will, if it's a go decision, we will provide you our technical and commercial offer, making for you the configuration and provide you our best technical and commercial options. Then step number 4, after the closing, we will continue with you providing you the commissioning and the service. Regarding the service, after the shipping of the unit, as you see in the red line, you will have this warranty of 5 years, and we can extend it according to the service level agreement that we can have together. We will definitely provide you the installation and commissioning, but also the training, the spares and consumables, the maintenance contracts, repairs, and engineering and consulting. As a conclusion, when our partner, in this case Kranish, will assimilate all these informations with our support as a factory and with our local business unit, we can move with this triangulation in a one and act as a one team. So ABB will support Kranish in the field. How? This is the part, the funny part. So ABB will provide to Kranish as a distributor our units. Kranish will also use its own channels that can be the installers and the EPCs to reach the final segments that we want to reach, like villages, data centers, small industries, telecom towers, hotels, and resorts. Finally, in step number 5, we will share now with you some business cases and references. Our MGS100 can be proposed in different segments, especially villages, but also small and medium industries, can be also hospitals, schools, telecom towers, resorts and hotels, data centers, food and beverage sector. Even if we launched our solutions a few months ago, we already have installations and references in many parts of the world. If we see, we can consider Egypt, Sweden, Zambia, South Africa, Oman, India, Malaysia, and Myanmar. Let's share with you some references. Here we are in Oman. This is a beach lodge where you will see our solution, the MGS100 combined with the PVS100 to feed the load with the battery and the diesel genset. In the right side, you will see it very clearly how the MGS100 here is connected with the inverter and the batteries. This is a 100 kilowatt plant. We provided the MGS100 80/100 kilowatt, and it has been commissioned last January 2019. Another plant, this has been done in Myanmar. This is also an island supply. We provided our MGS100 with a load 40/100 connected with the PVS100 that you can see here with MGS100. You have the batteries. This is a lead acid batteries. And we have the diesel genset in this part. Then here we are moving to Mabul in Malaysia, resort where we provided also this MGS100, an MGS100 with 100 kilowatt of PVS inverter, all combined in this case with connected to 3 diesel genset and the batteries. We commissioned this plant in March 2019 and it is up and running now. Here we are in India, especially in Padrona in India. We already shipped something like 70 units already in India. And this is one of our key strategic partner that already get awards from different vendors, especially ENGIE or Shell foundations, and with this $20 million, he's planning to install something like 300 plants between India and Tanzania. Then we have another plant in South Africa where you can see a natural wilderness reserve here, where we provide also our MGS100 60 kilowatt in this case, combined with diesel genset with the battery and with solar. This is in Europe, in Sweden. It's a data center. There is a grid, there is a diesel genset, and now with the MGS100 connected also with the batteries and with the PV panels feeding the load. It is an MGS100 20 kilowatt in this case. This is Zambia. This is the Swedish embassy in Zambia. We provided in September 2018 and commissioned the plant an MGS100 60 kilowatt. There is a video that we'll have the chance in next occasion to share them with you. And we have this plant combined with 1 diesel, with the grid, with the PV, and also with the batteries. This is in Egypt, another factory, and also the same system, same configurations, diesel, grid, battery, solar, and the load. Just a final slide to wrap up everything. The solution that we are proposing can work with different type of segments that can be villages, school, hospital, telecom tower, small industries. The connection can be off-grid, with grid, and grid connected. The type, renewable PV solution. The size between 10, 20 kilowatt up to 300 kilowatt. The common configuration includes diesel genset, batteries, grid, and PV. Thank you very much.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there are some questions left I was not able to answer in time. Yeah, even some of them were answered in the last slide. So it is already available, the system. You can actually buy it.
Absolutely, yes.
Another cool thing I recognized while just watching you presenting all the references is that in almost every country you have references in, we have a local representation or one next to it. So we just some months ago opened up South Africa, India, Sweden. We have since a longer time already. My question was, how does the technical support actually work? The support, the pre-sale support. Does the customer ask the Kranich technician first, and we will just prepare the information and we will work as a team with you? I guess it is like that.
Absolutely, yes, I agree. As I said before, as ABB, we are present in more than 100 countries. So there is no place where you will not find an ABB office. If we are talking about South Africa, we have a big office. Of course, we will provide all our technical support to Kranich team on locally, so we can intervene in a very short time and provide the positive support to the customer. We can do this in any part, in any Kranich presence, or also in any emergent countries. So the answer is this one. We will definitely support Kranich locally with our team, with the factory, with the local business unit, all over, in all business sites.
So just as we're used to with all the other products from ABB.
Yes, exactly. Same approach, same
teamwork
standards.
with the supplier and the customer,
Definitely.
EPC and installer.
Yes.
Then there was a last question, and I guess it is important not only for our installers, but also important for us running the warehouses. The combined inverter. External inverter, the PVS100 or 120, is it a standard PV inverter, or is it a special inverter customized for the microgrid solution?
Very good question. I think that you are a real businessman, because in this case you touched the very thing that can save you a lot of money. If you already have in your warehouse stock of inverters, you don't need to buy the complete solution. Just combine the MGS100 with the standard inverters that you already have in your stock. And in this case, you don't need to have it complete, but only one part of the system connected with the standard inverters that we usually sell. Nothing new, nothing customized. So in this case, you can combine both the existing and present inverters with the MGS100 and provide it the final kit to your customer.
The next advantage is that you can scale the solution then, because you can buy it in the first step with an PVS100, and then you say, okay, I need more energy, I need more power, and I add another PVS100 to it, and it will work. You don't have to throw away everything, you just add another PV inverter.
Absolutely, we can do this with also maybe customizing also the firmware, but it's something very easy, only a something that we can do easily.
For that we have ABB support.
Yes,
locally.
Yes, even from the factory, no problem. Yes.
Okay. So The other questions left in the chat I will answer afterwards by mail, because we're just running a bit out of time. So thank you for the presentation. Thank you for visiting us. Mr. Reiber just flew to Germany to present that for you. The ones who listen to the recording now, you can receive the links and the documents by mail from your local salesman from Kranich Solar. Just ask him to send it over. So thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity that Kranich dedicate to us to promote our solution. Thank you very much.
And thank you for dialing in.